Well, Nathan, it's a 2-0 defeat on the road at Gainsborough Trinity this afternoon, and very much a below-par performance on your side.
Yeah, first half was as bad as I've seen as this season. We were all over the place. There was no real organisation. Gainsborough took advantage of that. Deserved the 2 goals that they scored. We've reset at half-time. I think it was a much better performance from us. However, the damage was done, and we found it hard to get back in the game.
Yeah, and the man of the 2 goals in particular, I'm sure, will be particularly disappointing from the real point of view.
Yeah, from the side we can see exactly what's happening when you're on the pitch. You've got split seconds to make decisions. I would have liked to have seen better organisation from us and more leadership, but it took till half time to sort that out really. So we need to highlight what was going wrong. But yeah, that's the disappointing thing, and it's one of those. We go again.
Yeah, and the manner of both goals really very much uncharacteristic, I think you'd say, of what we'd be usually about in terms of that defensive structure.
Very uncharacteristic. We went in today with a very good defensive record. I think probably the best in the league. But Gainsborough have pulled us around, and that's through passing and moving, being very, very bright in the final third, and running behind us. And we didn't really rise to that challenge. But listen, it's disappointing. But I keep saying it to the boys, it's a game of football, and as long as we learn from it, we improve and we go again.
Yeah, and it's one of those as well. In terms of the overall performance in the second half, I'm sure you had a few strong words to say at half time, but do you feel that you saw a bit more reaction from your side there?
It was a definite reaction from the boys. There had to be. We couldn't have been as bad as what we were. We left ourselves open at times, obviously, because we were pushing. It's always going to happen on a counter attack. But I think in general it was a much better performance. The ball just didn't drop for us. And from Gainsborough's point of view, when you've got something to hold on to, especially a 2-goal cushion, you defend for your lives, and that's what they've done. And we've had some half chances, but not really got hold of it, and that's down to how well they're defended.
Yeah, and potentially could have got a bit worse. The big chance of freedom when they threw 1-on-1 with the Shane band, but I suppose the good thing to see there, obviously the reaction from Shane initially, and their fantastic defender from Aaron Haslam afterwards as well.
Yeah, it's always, I just said it was always going to happen. The more we push, the more their strikers have got an opportunity to get in behind us on the breakaway. But like I say, luckily for us, it kept the score realistic and kept us within the chance of obviously trying to get back in the game. But we ran out of time. I think if I had the best way I could describe it is we huffed and puffed today, but ultimately we weren't good enough.
No, and obviously in terms of your team selection, very much similar to what you put out against Lancaster. The only change really was Aaron Braithwaite coming back in low from Grimsby. How do you feel he got him back out there?
Yeah, he's done well. Obviously, it's his first game. I think, like the rest of the players, he's huffed and puffed for players to perform. Lads need to be on the game, and today it didn't happen for us. But I think overall, what I'm seeing in the lads is we're 28 games into the season, about 35 with the cup games, and the long winter and playing on the the tough pitches. Today we just look very, very leggy, and I'm just hoping that's not a sign of things to come. The tiredness, it might mean that we have to freshen things up. But I'll reassess and we'll go again on Tuesday night.
Yeah, looking at that game on Tuesday night, I suppose as much as it is hectic at the moment, that's the plus side of the fact when you do have these defeats like this, you've got a good chance to try and bounce back straight away. Yeah,
listen, it's great. You can try and get a bit of momentum. It can also go the other way. We need to be a little bit lucky, obviously, with injuries. Colby's picked up an hamstring injury today, so we'll just have to see how he is. But you're right. It's a chance to bounce back, and I've got no doubt the boys will do that, I think.
Yeah, and in terms of the schedule as well, obviously had a bit of a tough lesson from Gainsborough right here today, and so the fact they're playing them again next Saturday, do you think that's going to play to your favour, or is it going to be a bit of a challenging one to assess at this point?
It's another game of football, isn't it? I think on any given day, any team can win. We've played a Gainsborough team today that in the first half were very, very good. We've struggled with that. We'll obviously be prepared next time round. We know what they're about. But I'm not really bothered about how the other teams play. It's about how we play going forward. And today we weren't good enough. And sometimes you just got to hold your hands up. There's a disappointing changing room there, but you've got to acknowledge it. You've got to face up to it. And the challenge is now we need to react to it. So yeah, we'll do that on Tuesday.